Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you all are well and enjoyed your holiday. But now it's time to get back to work. For today's lesson, we are doing history, and our topic is transport through time. We're first going to start off with an activity. I want you to look at the pictures on the screen, and in your mind, I want you to order them from the oldest to the most recent way of getting from one place to another. If your answers were in the order that is on the screen, which is walking, then the donkey, the boat, the car, and the aeroplane, that means you got them all correct and you should give yourself a big round of applause. What is transport? Transport means carrying people and goods from one place to another. For example, you come from home to school. That means you are now being transported. We use transport on land, water, and in air. We can move around either on the land, in water, and in air. Modes of transport refer to the different ways we transport people and goods. For example, a car, a bus, a train, a boat, these are all the different modes of transport. For example, you come to school with a car, so that is your mode of transport. Transport on land. We transport ourselves on land mainly by walking. When we are transporting our things by walking, we carry our things in our hands, on our heads, or on our backs. For example, when you are coming to class, you are carrying your bag either on your shoulders or you are carrying your books in your hands. So that means now you are transporting your goods by walking. We can also transport ourselves and our things on animals, bicycles, trains, taxis, and cars. For example, you come to school in a car, so you are being transported by car. Transport on water. If we are traveling on water, we transport ourselves in canoes, boats, and ships. Business owners use cargo ships to bring in goods from other countries, which they then sell here. For example, clothes and cars. If we look at China, they are our main manufacturing source for clothing. So they make the clothing in China and then they send it to South Africa using cargo ships, which is then sold in different shops. For example, Mr. Price, Truworths, Woolworths, etc. People often go on cruise ships to go from one place to another for holiday, such as MSC cruise ship, which takes people from Durban to Cape Town or to Mozambique. Transport in the air. We transport people and goods in the air using aeroplanes and helicopters. We can travel to different provinces and countries using these forms of transport. For example, if you want to go from South Africa to England, you will have to board an aeroplane in order to go from one country to the next. People use helicopters to maybe search for missing vehicles, or if somebody is critically ill in hospital and they need to seek treatment in another hospital, for example in Johannesburg, and they are from Durban, people usually send helicopters to transport the sick person from Durban to Johannesburg as it is much faster. People can also travel into space using rockets. If we look at the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, he has just been launched into space aboard the New Shepard rocket ship. How has transport changed people's lives? Throughout the years, transport has evolved. This means that transport has changed and it has become better. It has become more accessible. That means it's easier to attain and it's easier to get, and reliable. That means it's much safer now. This has changed people's lives for the better. Modern transport has made the world a smaller place. For example, if we want to travel from Durban to Dubai, if we take a non-stop flight, that means we don't stop in any other province, any other city, it will only take us 8 hours and 20 minutes to go from one continent to another, one city to another. And in 8 hours, in 20 minutes you would be in Dubai. This shows how much smaller the world has become, that you can travel to another continent in less than a day. We can travel to different destinations. We can visit different places. They can be local or international. Transport has made it easier for us to visit these places. Perhaps in the past we were bound, or we had to only stay in the area in which we live because it was so difficult to go from one place to another because of how long it would take. But now transport has become much faster and much more accessible. That way we can go to Cape Town to see the Table Mountain either by flight or by car. We can go to France to see the Eiffel Tower by flight. So we are now able to go to different places because transport has made it much easier for us to travel. We can get to other places faster. For example, if you want to go to Pavilion, it will be much faster if you travel by car, taxi or bus compared to if you had to walk. If you want to go to Johannesburg, it will be a 6-hour journey by car, but by flight it takes 1 hour and 10 minutes. If, just say in the past, you wanted to go to town, the CBD, the central Durban, it would have taken you hours and hours by horse and cart or by walking, whereas now we all know we'll just get into the car and 20-30 minutes we're already in town. So transport has changed in such a way that our mechanisms have improved and it has become faster from manual labor, which is using animals and ourselves basically, to more modern transport which uses mechanics, which makes it faster. Transporting of goods is easier and faster. In the past, people grew crops and traded this by walking, using donkeys and horse and carts. This method of transportation would take a very long time to get from one person or place to the next. With modern transport, we can quickly and easily trade goods by flight or by car. For example, if you were growing lettuce in your farm and you wanted to trade it for wheat in another person's farm. Now imagine now you as a person have to walk from one farm or take a horse and cart from your farm to the other person's farm, and it would take days, sometimes even months to travel because you're either using a horse and cart or using animals or you are walking yourself. However, now with modern transport we can quickly and easily trade goods by flight or by car. So for example, if something is coming from the farm, for example wheat is coming from the farm and it needs to go to a factory to be processed, it is so much easier now because it's so much faster, so we get the goods that we need quickly. We can taste fruits and produce, purchase clothing, cars and novelty items from different parts of the world. This is done through importing and exporting. Importing means to bring goods or services into a country to sell, which has been made elsewhere. For example, a Ferrari is imported from Italy since South Africa does not manufacture them. Or if you need to sell strawberries in your shop and it is not strawberry season, therefore strawberries are not growing or they're taking too long to grow, you will import them from another country, for example, Indonesia. So whoever is in Indonesia, they will send strawberries to you and you will pay them for it. Then you get exporting. Exporting means to sell goods and services that are made in your country to another country. For example, South Africa exports gold and diamonds. We can visit family and friends who live far from our towns or area. If you have family or friends living in a different province or country, visiting them is much easier now compared to before. What would have taken you days now just takes you a couple of hours for some places. And that now, children, are all the different ways in which transport has made our lives better. Okay, now we have reached your favorite part of every lesson, the work which you have to do. The first thing I want you all to do in your history notebooks is make a flap that says term 3. The same way we've done it for term 2, where you fold your page in half and you write term 3 on it. Then you are going to open up your work pack to page 3 and you are going to write the date. You're going to write the day and you are going to cut out the notes from transport through time till point number 6 and you will stick it in your book. Then you are going to leave a line and write Activity 1, SS Textbook, page 115. And then you are going to answer the questions for that activity. And that is your work for history. We have now come to the end of our lesson. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned something. Please do not forget to do y'all's work, and I will see you all again next week, Monday, for history. Bye!